Hello and welcome to the A&A Coffeehouse. Have a seat wherever you like. Adam and Anthony will be with you shortly. For our specials this week, we have ISIS,
again,
the Democratic debate, and a new idea.
So grab yourself a cup of coffee and tune in. Welcome to another episode of the A&A Coffeehouse podcast. I am here with Adam Kincaid, your host, and I am Anthony DeFranco, your co-host, and we're here with Ariel Ayers, and we're here with Alvaro Gutierrez, and we're also here with Brittany Stain. So how was your guys' week?
Very, very good.
Oh, cool. Oops. I'm sorry. Should I move my chair?
I'm going to get by you.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Tony DeFrank is going to get up.
Yes.
Woo! Musical chairs.
So how's everything, Adam and Alvaro? Anything new? Besides sad news and stuff that came from Paris?
Just a ridiculously busy week.
Yes.
I aged.
Yes, he aged a lot,
It was
apparently.
Adam's birthday yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday, Adam.
Now, yeah. His dirty 30s. Yeah. So dirty 30 now, Adam. So, when are you going to have those kids?
Yeah, Adam.
Yeah.
when are you going to have those kids?
I've already got 9 of them a day.
9 a day.
Yeah.
Oh, really bad teacher joke.
Oh, okay. That's
Kind
cool.
of feels like there are kids.
You know, once you turn
It
30,
absolutely
your
does.
biological clock is definitely ticking faster.
More
Yes.
aware that mainly refers to girls.
Yeah.
That is sexist, and I don't appreciate it.
Exactly.
Also,
No, but
correct.
it's true. Women generally do have their...
Mhm.
It's just more women feel that way than men.
Menopause is
Well,
late.
and you guys
Menopause.
gotta have your babies by like 35, 40-ish. We can have our babies in the 80s. They tend to be creepy babies, but we can still have them.
No creepy fathers.
So-
Yeah, I was going to say, babies...
So where do
Actually,
babies?
They've linked that
Unless
to
you're talking
autism.
nature versus nurture.
Wow, really? So then the older the father,
Yeah, they think
linked
older
closer.
men have an increased chance of autism in their children.
Oh wow.
Oh.
But
They also have an
Interesting.
increased chance of dying before their children and finish college.
True.
I don't. Okay.
yeah,
For any old dads out
bonus
there...
topic.
We love you too.
Yeah.
We just disapprove of your life choices. No, we do not. That was a joke. It was a
Is
joke.
this how one conducts oneself during a podcast? You just have a normal conversation?
Yeah,
Kind
that's
of.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
You know, this is just
But then we kinda try to make it,
the soft opening here.
So those of you at home who notice that we have an extra voice in the mysterious shadows of the podcast world, that would be Brittany Stain. We have her joining us. She's going to be chipping in topics 1 and 2. She's mainly here for topic number 3, our mysterious new idea. We'll get to that later on.
She'll be staying with us today.
Everybody?
Ha.
All right, audience, say hi to Brittany.
Hi, Brittany.
Brittany, say hi to the audience.
Hello, my adoring fans.
All right. Now that we all know everyone, what is topic number 1, Tony?
I have no idea. What's topic number 1, Adam?
Yeah, France. Things went poorly this week.
ISIS attacked like 6 spots in Paris.
Yeah, and this is the second time Paris has been attacked.
Yeah, and
back
within
in
the year.
January?
Yeah, January,
after Charlie Hebdo?
February. Yeah, Charlie Hebdo.
So back in January, a satirical newspaper? Magazine?
Yeah, it's like a comic strip kind of magazine where
A magazine.
Yeah, where they make different comic strips making fun of politics and religion.
Like Mad
Yeah.
Magazine.
Yeah.
Usually, by the way, in very poor taste. For example, when the Russian plane got shut down, they made comics mocking the victims of that tragedy. So they're not really my favorite people.
Yeah.
Of course, that doesn't mean they deserve what happened. That was terrible.
Mhm.
And now things
Mhm.
have gotten worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was an isolated incident. That was gunmen walked into Charlie Hebdo and shot and killed
A couple of them.
12.
Yeah, I believe so, around 12.
But now more people are dead.
Yep.
ISIS showed up at 6 different locations throughout Paris and killed a number of people.
Yep.
They attacked a stadium where there was a football game going on.
Yeah, there were football as in Americans will see football as it's soccer.
Yeah.
Between the
Yeah.
French national team and German national team, I believe.
Yeah, it was German. Yeah.
And
so the stadium was attacked.
The French president was actually inside the stadium.
Yeah, bombings were outside the stadium.
Holland?
They were not able
Yeah.
to get in. Holland, yeah.
And then there was like a couple miles away from there were also like a shootout like in front of like a couple of restaurants and bars.
Yep.
Into them too.
Yeah, 6 different locations, 6 separate attacks from ISIS. It's 124 are dead.
Yeah, and then a bunch of suicide bombings. Yeah. It was like I think 7 people killed themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then today the French kicked ass. Today, they found an apartment building early this morning or early French morning time around 7, I believe. The French they raided this place, right, and then it was filled with more terrorists, right. People with the vest bombs and things.
Yeah, they went after the masterminds. The
masterminds.
Who planned the attack.
And they were surprised because they thought, I believe, on the news earlier, they were saying that one of the masterminds they thought was in Syria happened to be living in Paris. The town that's near Paris. I was like, wow. I mean, that was crazy. And unfortunately, a couple officers got injured and a police dog died. Because of
human fatalities.
Yeah, because of this lady who the dog went after, who was also shooting at the police, blew herself up. Yeah. Crazy stuff.
So a quick breakdown of what happened. So at 9:20 p.m., a suicide bomber detonated himself at the soccer stadium, killing 1. I'm not sure if that means one other person or is the suicide bomber the one.
I believe the security guard who stopped him died.
There you go. There was a shooting at a restaurant. 15 people were killed. At 9:30, there was another suicide bomber back at the stadium. He got no one. At 9:32, there was another shooting at a restaurant. 5 were killed. At 9:36, there was another shooting at a restaurant. 19 were killed. At 9:40, there was a suicide bomber at a restaurant. Killed no one. Also at 9:40, simultaneous with the restaurant bombing, some gunmen opened up in a concert hall. It was a concert hall filled with people.
It was an American band that was there from L.A.
This is where most of them died.
Yeah.
89 people were killed, partially in the shooting, and a lot of them via a bomb that went off.
Yeah, there was some of the reports were saying that that there was no chance this time for anyone to be a hero, because when one person fired on them, ran out of bullets, the other person started firing.
Yeah.
They gave enough time back and forth to refill the magazines. Which, it wasn't like the Paris train incident that happened, a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Or something like that, where
the American Marines?
Yeah, the American Marines went and stopped the terrorists, right? There was no time, unfortunately. It was they had it well planned.
Is that the one that John did?
13 minutes later, a third suicide bomber detonated near the stadium. No one was killed. And yeah, that was the gist of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just really sad that this happened, especially in Paris. Really, really pretty place. I've been there twice, and I love Paris. It's the art, the people, it's everything there. It's like what they share like kind of a bond like we Americans have, where we love liberty and freedom.
It is a country that is the flag of the West, and in attacking it, they're declaring war on all of those different values.
Yeah, war with the world. It's crazy. And then some people were surprised that they didn't attack near the Eiffel Tower, and they didn't attack the Louvre or Musée d'Orsay, none of those places. And it was because they're heavily secure. I mean, we were walking over there were a lot of French military and French police walking all over the place with guns.
Imagine now.
Yeah. And so imagine now, especially now, it's going to be filled with a lot more people, a lot more military.
Yeah. What did you guys think about, did anybody see the cover of Charlie Hebdo in regards to this?
No, have not.
The front cover of Charlie Hebdo, it's a Frenchman riddled with bullet holes drinking, and it's champagne, and the champagne is just pouring out of his bullet holes. And the headline reads, "They have weapons. Fuck them. We have champagne."
But yeah, this is the best answer you can really give at this point, other than, Orange, which is let us actually take this as an act of war and act in consequence. And now they're actually talking to the United States and to Russia and to the other countries of the European Union and to countries in the Middle East to start doing something effective in Syria.
Which is a perfect segue to what's happening now. So these attacks happened. Obviously, there was some kind of response. Alvaro, you live near them, so I'm going to let you handle this one. What was the French response, and what's happening now? How are they responding to these attacks?
Well, as far as what...
Yeah, it's for you at home.
We're just gonna cut that out.
Oh, okay. I think it'd be pretty funny, though, to tell the people at home that Adam's going around right now with the chair and wheels
They moved the damn
crashing
desk.
into stuff.
This desk used to be way over there. This was my office for a while. I used to be able to just scoot back all the time. Now I scoot back into a dresser.
I thought you meant like from this morning or something. Like, no, Adam, no one's
No.
been in here.
No.
This room has been closed off for years.
When this was my office, I used to just scoot back all the time.
As far as words go, things haven't changed. As far as words go, things haven't changed with the first attack. They say this is war, and we're going to take this seriously, and we're going to destroy them. And then very little was done. Something was done, you have to save face, but very little. This time, in practice, things are different. They seem to be going about it much more seriously, and, they've already started with their bombing campaigns and the like. They actually declared a state of emergency, which means the suspension of certain constitutional rights for the French in order to be able to investigate inside more effectively. So they're taking this quite seriously.
Mm-hmm.
There was a bombing almost the same time as this in Nigeria. That was Boko Haram, not ISIS. But there's very little
Boko
difference
Haram,
at this point. They're working together. They're allied.
Exactly, they consider themselves now a province of the Islamic State, of the Daesh. So it's the same people.
Given that, so Nigeria, lots dead in Nigeria, lots and lots of people. It was 32 dead and 80 hurt. Not as bad as Paris, but still. And then Turkey. Turkey was also bombed. A train station in Ankara was bombed the day after. And that has 97 dead with 250 wounded. Also ISIS. So what is ISIS trying to do? Why is ISIS launching all of these attacks against everybody right now?
It's because because of their religion, with the Islam. It's unfortunately there's so many different interpretations of Islam. So you got half the people,
Just like Christianity.
Yeah, just like Christianity, where for example, they have one book, but people translate it differently. Yeah. And that's what the issue is, and so that's why one translation says pretty much blow up the infidels, those who don't believe in your brand of Islam, and so they've been going after even Islamic states and stuff like that. Like Turkey, which is kind of a mix of Islam and Christianity. And then they went after like spots in, pretty much Christians in, Christian areas where areas where there mostly be Christian white people in Paris. And, basically, even in Africa, where he said there were some bombings there. There's
Nigeria?
a mix, Nigeria. There's a mix of Islams and Christians there, too. And if you don't subscribe to their version of Islam, doesn't matter what religion you are, they'll blow you up, even if you're their own religion.
Again, analogs to Christianity back in the day. You've got the Crusades. You've got the Anglican Church versus the Catholic Church. You've got Protestants versus Catholics right now in Ireland and other places. You've got all sorts of stuff. So religions fight amongst themselves over what they view as heresies. It happens all the time throughout history.
But the Christian religion... but the Christians don't blow up each other anymore. You don't see the Protestants and the Catholics blowing each other up. You don't see...
Because when the Christians were fighting, they didn't have bombs. And you do actually see that. That's Northern Ireland. That's the IRA.
But they're not doing that anymore.
As much for ethnic and as much for political and ethnic reasons as anything else. You have people who've been oppressed for religious reasons, but oppressed for hundreds of years, and they're attacking. This is not simply my religion says I must attack those damn Proddies. It's a bit of a different thing.
Call them
So
Proddies.
we really have to. So you don't want to be overly generalizing here, but let's not be disingenuous. We don't have the Presbyterian state. We don't have the Amish state doing terrorist bombings with, I don't know, cow manure.
I don't know, Pennsylvania's kind of an Amish
about
state.
Well, it is an Amish state, but
Don't ask me how
they're
Amish
not
bombs
really
are.
too much of a danger.
Topic number 2.
All right. So, topic number 2. Are we recording?
Yes, we're
Topic
recording.
number 2. The Democratic debate. The Republicans continually have debates. We have talked about all of them. The Democrats have had one. Well, on Saturday they finally had number 2. Again, nice change of pace to be talking about
Things.
a different set of politicians debating things.
A more manageable set of politicians doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Only 3 this time instead of having to divide the debate into 2 with large groups in both because they've just got so damn many.
Mm-hmm.
It's also nice only having 3 on this one after last time there was 4 and one guy who wasn't allowed to participate. But since the last time, Chafee has stepped down. He is no longer running.
Who the hell's Chafee?
Jim Webb, has left the Democratic Party and is running as an independent. And just last week, Larry Lessig also dropped out of the race. He wasn't allowed to participate last time, so that didn't really change anything. Yeah. 3 people, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, and Martin O'Malley. How'd the debate go?
I thought it was okay. I mean, still, it wasn't... it's the same thing like the Republican debate. It's still it's just same questions, but everybody's kind of doing their fake smiles and stuff.
Well, you're just describing a debate.
It was more coherent, I'd have to say, compared to a Republican debate. Yeah.
Possibly because the Republicans have some crazy people, and possibly because the Republicans just have a lot of people.
Yeah.
As opposed to 3.
I really liked, 2 things in the debate, and both of them involve acknowledging his braggadociousness, King Trump, on the part of the 2 of the contenders. First, Bernie Sanders he's a very elegant man, so he never directly referred to him. But you'll all remember that Trump dragged out Eisenhower and his immigration policies, and so. Bernie Sanders also used Eisenhower to justify his own tax policy.
Yeah.
Saying that the taxes on...
it was taxes on something, I don't know.
There's something about rich people.
Rich people taxes, blah, blah, blah.
Of course, it's Sanders. Well, up to 90% with Eisenhower says, well, I'm not as much of a socialist as Eisenhower was, to the raucous laughter of the audience.
Yeah.
That I thought was an elegant little wink. And the other was, of course, O'Malley, who finally acknowledged something that I've been saying quite a bit about the immigration issue. And that is that net migration between Mexico and the United States is 0. And has been 0 for quite a few years.
Yeah.
So all of this debate is literally trumped up.
Yeah, it's just South Americans who keep coming into the country. That's pretty much it from the border. And then you got some people who cancel their visas, and that's it. It's like come on. It's just the Republicans keep doing the standard scare tactics to get the low information voter to get scared and vote for them.
Do all politicians.
Yeah, and true, the Democrats do it too a lot. But not as bad as the Republicans.
So I was surprised with O'Malley's showing. O'Malley was a pretty strong debater, even when the field is very clearly against him at this point.
I like O'Malley.
He's still barely registering on the polls.
Yeah. He seems to be more, because he's trying to go for the moderate Democratic vote, while Hillary went to the left to compensate with the Bernie Sanders. Yeah.
And that's the thing.
So
about,
Hillary's the
primary.
traditional moderate, but for right now,
Hillary's a traditional chameleon.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
The thing is, primary debates, primaries in general tend to do that. The pool of voters who are deciding who's going to present themselves are one that's already ideologically skewed. So you're not going to get moderates when it's the people who are very strongly motivated to register as Democrats and to follow the primary elections and to vote in these things.
The ones who want free stuff, yeah.
So I would like to agree with everything you said and point out that there is one female running, and Alvaro just referred to her as a reptile.
Did you refer to her as a reptile?
Yes.
I referred to Hillary Clinton as a chameleon because she seems to change her colors according to political convenience.
Yeah, the polls changes.
And
Yeah.
her being reptilian, well, that's up to the internet debate.
But wouldn't wouldn't Christian scientists be like all crazy now, thinking, "Oh my gosh, she's a chameleon! Ah, lizard people!" Or was it the or was it the Scientologists that believe in the lizard people? I'm not sure.
No, it's David Icke. David Icke is going to be all up in arms and excited that Alvaro finally agrees that Hillary is a reptilian. He's the one who goes around talking about how Earth was actually invaded by reptilians, the Rothschilds were reptilians, the Jews are reptilians, all the leaders of the free world are reptilians, and the moon isn't real. The moon is actually an alien spacecraft.
Wow.
Fair enough.
That's David Icke. He'll be excited. So David Icke was not in the debate, so his opinion doesn't matter. Bernie Sanders. Jewish and a politician. Double reptilian right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys, who won? Who did the best job?
That was kind of it's kind of hard to say who really won. I would say it was the other guy who I can't remember his name. O'Malley. I think he may have won, but when it comes to like Hillary and Bernie, I think those who want free things all the time, free college and free everything, and $15 an hour, minimum wage, I think they won.
Once again, debates are not football games. The winner is not clearly seen in the very moment, nor can I automatically decide. They are tools in order to change public opinion. So who won? I don't know. You tell me who skewed the polls most. Skewed the polls. That seems like they were committing fraud.
Yeah. Who committed fraud on the polls this time?
Who got the polls to be more favorable to them after the debate?
Yeah.
Adam?
I'm going to let Ariel read the poll results. So, actually, I'm going to read the second poll result. I'm going to give this thing, then I'm going to have her read the poll results.
Got me all ready for nothing.
So, according to the Wall Street Journal has published a poll, and according to their polls, Bernie Sanders won with 44 points, Clinton with 32, and Martin O'Malley less. When it came to specifics, such as what candidate best understands problems facing people like you, was the question. Bernie Sanders won 58 to Hillary's 27. The only place on the poll that Hillary Clinton won was who's best equipped to protect national security. Hillary won that one. Bernie won all of the others. Several other polls put Bernie Sanders high in the win. And overall, now I'm going to let Ariel read.
Who do you want me to start with? Top
The
to bottom?
poll. Who won the second Democratic debate?
Oh, okay. Well, then where are you pointing?
To
Cut out this
Hillary
part.
Clinton.
Okay, I'm just...
He's pointing out to Hillary Clinton.
All right. So we have Hillary Clinton with 927, which is 7%. Bernie Sanders with... Should I read that last or just go for it?
Yeah, do Bernie Sanders last.
Okay. Martin O'Malley with 414, which is 3%. Then the GOP with 1,847 with 15%.
So those are people who think that
Yeah.
Democrats were just hurt by this debate entirely.
Yeah,
so
sorry.
The GOP
I should
came out
have
winning.
specified before I said that. All right, ready for Bernie Sanders? 9,507, which brings it up to a grand total of 78%.
Look, polls are a fantastic way to manipulate people. Either you do it with some sort of system, some sort of scientific
the median, and the mode
guarantee, or else it's nothing else but the opinion of whatever editorial board approved that poll. It's nothing. It's worth nothing, except, of course, as a show of what different media groups are, amenable to showing. So the fact that there is, as Adam will mention soon, a debate among media groups is relevant, and polls are a way to show that, but they don't actually.
CNN says that Hillary won. A number of other polls here. Bernie Sanders won by 23 points. Bernie Sanders won by 28 points. Hillary Clinton won by 26 points. Hillary Clinton won by 30 points. Bernie Sanders won by 67 points. Yeah. So again, most of them are saying Bernie Sanders won. Let's see what the Huffington Post has to say right here. I'm scrambling to find additional polls to satiate Alvaro and his bizarre European tendencies.
For rigor?
Yep.
So,
Okay, the Huffington Post does not have a poll currently. All the people who work for Huffington Post, or at least the vast majority of them, agree that Bernie Sanders thrashed in the debate.
Of course, he just like, and they probably just say thrashed, like Jon Stewart destroys his opponent.
No, they don't say thrashed. That was my word.
Oh, okay.
Because they're all coming around and saying that Bernie Sanders won.
All right, thank goodness. Once again, mistrust adjectives.
It's quiet again.
Oh, there we go. So, I'm directly quoting.
They tend to be skewed in something.
I'm directly quoting from Huffington Post. It says, while one poll has Hillary Clinton the winner of the debate, a closer look shows that this survey was conducted by the pro-Clinton super PAC. Correct the record. In reality, everyone else seems to be saying that Bernie Sanders won the debate.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the super PACs are just going to go to their candidate who they support. They're going to say they won automatically.
In the DeRay McKeeson poll, which presumably has some kind of importance because they list it by name, it's 42,575 people voted at random. Randomly selected people voted. So 43,000 basically. And 83% of respondents believe that Bernie Sanders won the debate.
Wow.
So, the debate seems to be going well for Bernie Sanders.
Yep. But the mainstream media does not really want to say that.
Correct.
Yes.
And O'Malley, of course, is not even mentioned.
Yeah. People are like, who's O'Malley? Never heard of this guy. He's that person there in the corner talking to himself. Oh, okay. So, this is the end of this subject?
Seems like it.
Seems like it. Okay. Ending this. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're back for topic 3, but now we're doing something slightly different for topic 3.
We are indeed. So, for those of you who are in the know about the shadowy back rooms behind politics, whoever here has heard of the Bilderberg Group or the Trilateral Commission, all of these secretive think tanks uniting various portions of the world and countries, epicenters of conspiracy theory and things like that, we here at the A&A Coffeehouse have decided to form our own.
Our own conspiracy theory?
Our own group. Our
own
shadowy backroom think tank. If anyone wants to include us into global domination theories, go ahead. You know where our website is. We look forward to seeing them. There's so many things happening in the news this week. It was virtually impossible to pick a third topic. So we didn't. We are going to run through all of the alternative topics and give a brief rundown on all of them. this is why we have our special guest, Brittany Stain, to help us respond to things sans research. Alright. All of us sans research, not just Brittany. Everybody, no one has researched.
Yes.
Including
Yes.
I have a computer.
you and your damn computer.
You're on
The
Facebook.
eyebrow wiggle.
You are the worst Amish person ever.
You are on
Yes.
Facebook, Alvaro.
So am I.
They don't have to know.
Too late
Well,
there
now
now.
they know. And now Ariel.
Alright. Did anybody see anything about what happened with the soccer tournament between Turkey and Greece?
Yes.
No.
So, Turkey and Greece just had a soccer match. And at the beginning of the match, they asked for a moment of silence for the victims of the Paris attacks last week. And everyone goes silent, everyone bows their heads, and the Turkish soccer fans all stand up and begin chanting, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar," and don't let them have a moment of silence.
Wow.
That's been getting a lot of the news. Even the Turkish soccer team came out against their fans, saying that was inappropriate. So, what do you think? Opinions?
I'm gonna say Turkey is like a country which is like diverse. And he had a bunch of people going Allah Akbar during a moment of silence. Maybe that's their version of silence. Who knows?
It isn't.
To translate it real quick before we continue, Allahu Akbar translates to God is greater, or just God is the greatest, or God is great.
Yep.
Background.
Do you think maybe they meant that as instead of silence, we're going to pray that, you know,
Well,
that.
those are the last words that were heard by many of those in Paris recently. It's one of the, I mean, they cry it out often. It's a Muslim cry. Heck, it's something that I could cry out. It's not in Arabic because that's not a language I speak. But it's very closely related to these things. So if it wasn't intended in that way,
Then they
I would be
really
very
made
surprised.
a horrible, horrible mistake.
Well, and let me elaborate. So, a lot of them began yelling Allahu Akbar. A lot of the others just began loudly booing and hissing.
Oh.
That
Okay,
probably
I
should
retract
have.
those
That probably
words,
should
yes.
have gone in with your explanation.
Yes.
I retract that statement then. Thanks,
So-
Adam,
Okay.
for making me feel
So it was-
stupid.
Can we please have? We will now have a moment of silence for the victims of the Paris attacks, followed by the Turkish crowd rising, shouting Allahu Akbar, God is great, along with booing and hissing.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool at all. Thank you for
Turkey's
cleaning it
not
up.
cool at all. I mean, they have this terrible tyrant of a leader who feigns democracy, Erdogan. He's spelled Erdogan, and I get confused because I usually read about him rather than hear about him.
Yes.
He recently won the elections by banning opposition media and accusing all of his opponents of being terrorists. The Kurds, mind you. It's a terribly divided country, and you have moderates, you have people who follow in the more secular tradition of Ataturk. You have minorities, including Christians, and you also have radical Islamists who are quite partial to what's going on. So it's a complicated country which should not become part of the European Union.
This is why they keep having debates. Should it join the European Union? Is it part of Europe? Is it part of Asia? Do they get to join? What? All sorts of things.
And they took advantage of the recent refugee crisis to strengthen their case, saying, okay, we'll help you if you fast-track us. And so far, Europe has obliged. To my chagrin.
Mm-hmm.
That's a perfect segue to the next topic. So, given the fact that one of the terrorists who attacked Paris came in as a Syrian refugee, there's been a lot of news made about that. The United States is supposed to be accepting a whole lot more of these refugees in the near future. In the past 3 days, 26 governors of states in the United States have come out saying that they will not accept Syrian refugees. 26 states have now said they will not do it, And 5 more states, while not refusing, are coming out against it. So, what do you think about that?
Well, after you.
It was well known that they were going to, that some people were going to come in. I mean, people were coming in anyways. That's not something that's surprising. But because some murderers are coming in alongside people who are fleeing for their lives does not mean we should shut our doors to people who are fleeing for their lives.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, because this is a complete distraction, is the fact that if there are people who are fleeing their country, who are being refugees from a terrible situation, a better way to help them, alongside of giving them a place to stay in the meantime, is getting rid of the damn war. There's a recent interview with a small child in Germany who was saying just that. He's saying, look, just stop the war, we'll go back. We like our home. We want to go back home. Well, I think we need to focus on destroying the bastards who are starting this whole thing in the first place, rather than complaining about the fact that they're coming in along with the people who they're hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So morally, I have 2 questions about this. One, morally, as a country, legally, we are obligated to do this. We are part of an agreement that was signed after World War II saying that America is legally obligated to take in refugees.
Wasn't it with the UN?
Just like Europe, and just like much of Asia, and just like Australia, and just like Latin America, we have all signed an agreement agreeing to take in refugees from any country that needs it.
Mm-hmm.
So legally, on the world stage, we are obligated to take in refugees.
Mm-hmm.
These are people who have lost their home, who are running, who need somewhere to live, need somewhere to go, and we are supposed to help. We have agreed to help. We just agreed to take more in.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them might be terrorists. So far, there has been 1.
Well,
Could be more. So what do we do?
I think we should still let them in, but right now we have a vigorous program here in the U.S. where it takes 2 years for Syrian refugees or any refugee to come into this country, because of the vigorous background checks we already have.
I mean, so how does that work? Because we've already got over 10,000 Syrian refugees.
Well, yeah, because these are from 2 years ago who are coming in now, pretty much.
And we're going to take in 100,000 more?
Yeah, it's usually because of the background checks and things. It usually takes a couple years. But though the Republicans and some moderates want more background checks. But the Republicans, though, they're extremist Republicans, are saying drop everyone completely, nobody come in at all.
The governors of 26 states, for example?
Yeah, like those. But I myself, personally, I think we should have a temporary stop just to do a quick review on how we search these people and their backgrounds. Maybe we could do a little bit more. But except, of course, if they're like the rebels who are helping, the family of rebels who are helping us right now, in Iraq and in Syria. So yeah, if they could just do a temporary halt just to review the system, I think right now, because also some of these people, it's going to be hard to find their papers and things like that. And some of these countries, especially now in Syria, it's like, how are we going to contact Syria if we don't want to talk to them to find out their information, about these people. So if there was a way that we can check, for example, facial recognition programs, which we have, to see if we have, this terrorist or this person in our system, if there is a terrorist, I think we should start doing that more often, because the Brits already start doing that. The Brits have a program where they take photos and facial recognition software they have to see if they've dealt with these people before, if they're actually terrorists. But other than that, I do think we should continue bringing in Syrian rebels in, because they've already gone through the whole process for 2 years. So obviously, we're not worried about the current ones until 2 years from now.
All right, ladies, what do you two think? What do we do about Syria? Refugees want to get in. They need a home. We agreed to take them in, but now some of them might be wearing bombs.
It's tough because morally I agree absolutely. I think that that's something that shouldn't be questioned morally. Don't take that as a, yeah, no problem, easy, let's take hundreds of thousands of people. No, because they're human beings and they're running for their lives, like Alvaro said, and they're getting run out of their homes and being treated horribly, and some of them are, swimming across the ocean to get to safety, and then everyone in the surrounding countries is turning them away and saying that it's not their obligation to take care of them or to help them. But if this was another country, for example, I don't know, let's say France. If this was another country that needed places to go for their refugees to go, it wouldn't be something that anybody would question. They'd say, absolutely, this is the definition of humanity. We need to take care of each other. But because there's, I don't know why it's so hard for some people like that to say, yeah, morally, yes, let's do it, because they're people, they're human beings.
Alright, so now that Ariel has agreed to take 14 Syrian refugees into her own home,
honestly,
what do you say, Brittany?
I would not have a problem with that. If that means that they don't die and starve to death or live as horrifically as they would, I would take 14 people into my one-bedroom studio. Yes, I would. No question about it. That is not a hard decision for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm too nice.
Madame Destain.
And then, what? And then, I feel it's really nitpicky when you're saying that, say we're taking in, thousands of people and we're worried about this one terrorist coming in. I feel that's really over prudish of us. Like, all these people that we can help, and we're worried about a very small number that we may or may not even
have to worry about.
Yeah, like, we don't even know.
Because you could play the what-if game forever.
You could, and if that keeps you from doing something moral, then
that kind of sounds like looking for reasons not to do it.
Right, and I don't know if this is the right analogy, but like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're going to take some ridiculously small negative thing and make it a reason for not doing something very good and also something we agreed to do a long time ago, then that's really bad and it's really shitty of us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right, it's another legal ramification here. So, again, 26 governors have banned refugees from settling within their states, correct?
Yeah.
Well, there's the minor technicality of the fact that governors can't ban refugees. That's the president's discretion.
Yeah, so what they're trying to pretty much say that they have the power that the federal government has, but they really don't.
Anyway.
Last topic. Last one of these. Another big major report just came out. Since 2006, a lot of schools across the country have been teaching less sexual education. Sex ed education has been going down. They've been teaching less about condoms, less about safe sex, and as many people have suspected, that did not cut down on the amount of sex happening.
Is this the South again?
Was never
everywhere in the
going
country.
to cut down on it.
So the sex is still happening. They just haven't been taught about it. Mm. And gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis have skyrocketed.
Because nobody knows what they're doing with their bodies. Because they're not learning it.
So the CDC officially announced that America is having an epidemic of chlamydia, gonorrhea, and syphilis because none of the young people know what condoms are.
That is an extremely, ridiculously, almost hilariously avoidable problem. That was something that we could have prevented.
And I have a very hilarious story about a man who is teaching people in a southern state.
Was it about the sock?
Yes! It was about the sock!
Please explain it for our listeners.
Did you explain that to me?
Probably. I think so.
I don't think it was you. But it was basically, and I'm going to teach you how to put on a sock.
Yep.
And he's like, pull out the tip of the sock so that,
Yep. This was one of my tidbits.
Oh, cool. Okay, then I want to...
So they're just kidding. They do know.
So a man basically simulated how to put on a condom by explaining how to put a sock on your foot.
Yeah.
Which, anyway, good. That is a good teacher. That is someone who cares about the health of his students and is very clever.
So while me, Brittany, and Ariel are...
objections of the parents, in spite of the fact that
So while me, Brittany, and Ariel are spazzing out, both Alvaro and Tony are kind of glaring at the thing. So Alvaro.
Alvaro,
yes,
I disagree with you.
You were speaking over my comment.
Yeah, he was talking that whole time.
I think I pretty
What
much
did you say just now?
He was arguing for the moral.
I was saying that as we mentioned in the previous podcast, when talking about sexual issues, there is the biological, medical aspect which needs to be addressed, but then there's the moral aspect which should be reserved to the parents.
Except that
and
the parents aren't
more
doing it.
Moral objection to contraception that needs to be accepted and catered to, and not simply weaseled around because we know better.
But the parents aren't doing anything about it, and obviously it has a correlation. Because,
so what about the fact that,
Yeah, there is a correlation. People are getting sexually transmitted diseases because they aren't practicing safe sex, because they have no idea how to do it. So instead of going with the moral values set by their parents, they're doing what they want to do, but they're not being safe about it because they were never given the tools to be safe. I would so much rather give a kid the tools, the knowledge to be safe, rather than say, go off into the world and don't do that because I said so and that's why, and then they do it anyway, and then they get really, really hurt and they get sick, and a lot of times sexually transmitted diseases result in being sterile and not being able to have kids, and that's horrible. And Brittany
and Alvaro, you're wrong, and this is why. Because because
we do know better than their parents.
Wait for me. No, okay, so there's the child's obligation, debatable obligation to the parents' morals, right? Familial obligation, but what about societal obligation? I mean, we can't have a bunch of kids running around like with various STDs, and so it's
certainly not. Obligation is necessary.
We can't.
But societal obligations include obligations to those people who are actually the components of the society.
But is that more important than the safety of our youth?
Well, but again, so we have a interesting situation here that I'm not sure society has had to deal with quite in this way before. What do we do when the morality of certain parents, the morality of certain groups, is causing a national disease epidemic that will affect everyone?
What if, like...
Not just those people.
What if, like, we had a classroom and, like, a lot of those parents were like, if you have a problem with a person at school, punch them in the face. I've heard that from people in my family, like, take care of your own problems. That's not how we should tell kids how to, like, in school we teach kids how to be parts of society as well as tell them how to, do math and write essays. And I feel like we shouldn't trust parents to have good societal morals.
See, and that's what that leads to, is the increased sense of alienation of many parents in many sectors of society from this massive planning of what education should be. And that leads to people wanting to exempt their kids from public schools altogether. If you say, I am going, because I know better than you parents, because you are foolish and you are leading these children to danger and to be bad parts of society as I conceive it, well, then I'm going to go around you. And that is also dangerous, because then we increase this absolute disconnect between different parts of society, those who have one view and those who have the other. Well, this dichotomy, this polarization of the United States.
Why can't we have both views? Why can't we combine both views together?
Because
I came from a Catholic family, and I was told don't have sex until marriage, but then I was also told in school, because I had sex ed in school, always use a condom. So there has to be some kind of a thing where compromise that, okay, I'm going to try to respect my family, law, or not, unless I'm really horny, but try to respect my family's, traditions by not having sex. But if I decide to have sex or if the moment's right, always wear a condom.
Well, see, I think Tony may have just actually come up with a solution right there. Mm-hmm. Why can't we have schools teach safe sex and say this is how you do it? Your parents might not disagree. let them talk to you.
I said this last time,
And so
Adam.
after being told how condoms work and about safe sex and whatnot, you go home and your parents have the talk that they should be having a talk with you about, saying just don't do it.
Exactly. So when you say this dichotomy, I do think that's a good way to bridge the gap. We should definitely teach sex ed, because there are always going to be kids who go against the parents' wishes. There are always going to be kids who don't get any talk at all. And there should be sex ed in school, and regardless of what the parents' views are. And if they want their kids in that public school, they're going to have to be okay. They're going to have to be okay with sexual education.
Well,
And so they'll take them out of the school because they're not. Because for these parents, the objective of their tutelage of the children, the objective of education, is to have them lead a happy life, certainly, and to have them lead a happy life eternally, to get them to heaven. And if they think that this is something that will lead them away from that path, then it is something that is imperative for them to
But that's
avoid.
arguing that education isn't...
Education and religion are
Like,
not supposed to be...
I mean, that's not even what I was going to say.
You're talking
Oh,
about...
sorry.
No, it's fine. That's another facet of that. I was going to say that that's like arguing that that them learning about this could possibly hurt them. All I'm going to say to this is that I very, very genuinely believe, and I said this in the last episode, and Tony just said it now, and I think that is fair to say that it should be a combination of both, because kids do need to hear it from their parents, and they do need to hear it scientifically, how your body works and the ways to protect yourself if you decide to go against what your parents are saying. That you should be able to protect yourself no matter what. You should know how your body works. You should know how sex works, because that is part of reproduction. That is part of being a human being, part of being an animal, just life, that's how it happens. So you need to know about it and being safe while doing it, because some people have certain diseases that are contagious.
It's because you don't want your kid to grow up to be Charlie Sheen, right?
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
On that note, let us
Alright,
end this topic.
we are running out of time and battery, so we're going to do tidbits really quick. When we go around, everyone give you tidbits. We are not going to discuss them today. So give you a tidbit and we will move on.
Go this way.
Okay. Tony, do you want to start, or you're not ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, yeah, then you go.
After almost a year of procrastinating, I finally fixed my fence.
Ooh!
Yeah. Okay, next.
I found an article that's headline is, Pigeons Can Spot Breast Cancer in Women's Scans as Accurately as Human Experts.
That's weird.
Mammogram reading pigeons. It's the future. I'm pleased. Anyway, Adam.
Everybody is very
Alvaro,
excited
go.
about this.
Oh, Alvaro.
Just as I took advantage of our coffee beans last time to tell you that Poland is a thing, Argentina is also a thing. And the 22nd of this month, they have elections, and they're going to choose a new president. Cristina Fernández de Kirchner is leaving, and this is the second round of the elections between the successor to the Christian right line and the opposition. For now, the Christianites have a slight lead. We'll see what happens on the 22nd.
Every time Brittany gets online to do some research, she becomes increasingly angered at just how much the war on feminism has increased vocabulary.
Yay.
Grown, expanded.
I was going to say.
Grown,
enhanced.
enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you finished. Okay.
Alright, and finally, mine. There's a TV series out. The TV series is already over. It's only one season long. It's a miniseries. It's called The Slap. And I saw the previews and I had no desire whatsoever to watch it. It did not look interesting. I didn't care. Over the course of work, I accidentally wound up watching 2 episodes, got extremely hooked, watched the entire thing in one setting, and it is fantastic. It is about a big family getting together, and over the course of events, one child misbehaves dramatically and winds up being slapped across the face by an adult who is not his parent. And that sends ripples through the extended family, and it is a very, very good show that I really, really enjoyed. I highly recommend it.
Nice.
Nice. Okay.
So, slap a child and tune in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for visiting today, but the coffee house is now closed. We'll be open for business again next week at the same time and in the same place. Join us again then, and we'll have a set of new specials ready for you to sample, and more riveting conversation to be had. Thank you and good night.